when I got the QT Wave device, I noticed that suddenly I wasn't having the pain in my and discomfort in my cervical area and in my low back, the sacral area. So I wasn't needing to go to the chiropractor anymore. So I stopped going, and I thought it was quite amazing. I thought this little device is quite amazing.
Hey, Margaret, thanks so much for coming to spend some time with me today.
Thanks for being with me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I love it. I have the best job of anyone because I get to talk to all of you members and share your stories. So it's wonderful.
You're like a modern day Barbara Walters. You do all these interviews.
Oh, oh, that's funny. Never thought about that. Well, I love it. So,
Yeah.
Margaret, can you start off by telling the listeners a little bit of how you were feeling prior to coming to QHS?
Well, I've been feeling fatigue. Has been my major problem all of my life since I was about 18 or 20. I would be, some days I would sleep 8 hours at night and get up in the morning, and just from making the bed would make me so tired I'd have to get back into it and go back to bed.
Wow.
So there were a lot of things I couldn't do because of that. And I went from doctor to doctor to doctor, and none of them had any answers. Nobody knew what it was. So that was actually getting a little better in the past 10 years, I would say. I have no idea why. Well, I did during that time explore a lot of alternative ways to improve one's health. I studied Chinese medicine in Boston. I studied different other forms of alternative medicine. I was one of the first, in the 60s and 70s to be doing the macrobiotic diet, all those things, on and on and on. And so, but for whatever reason, in the past 10, 12 years, 15 years, it was a little bit better, although I didn't have as much energy as I wanted. But then when I started the QT Wave, I got really, really fatigued again. And I think that's interesting because maybe something is being healed there. I don't know.
How long have you had it?
10 weeks.
Oh, okay. So fairly new.
Right, and 10 weeks. Because when I first got it, well, first I had to wait a little bit to get it, and then I had it for a couple of weeks and it stopped working, and so it was another wait. And so, but I've been using it altogether about 10 weeks.
Okay.
So in addition to the fatigue, the only surgery I've had is I had uterine cancer when I was about 50 and had the uterus removed. I had to fight to keep my ovaries. They finally let me keep them because, the doctors say, oh, well, we'll take the ovaries too, just to make sure they don't get cancer. They don't become cancerous. And I said, well, why don't you take my brain to make sure I don't get brain cancer?
That's clever.
And I convinced him to let me keep my ovaries. So, so I was seeing a chiropractor since around early 20s. I had a lot of subluxations in my spine and a lot of problems. So I've been sticking pretty close to a chiropractor ever since then. And then since when I got the QT Wave device, I noticed that suddenly I wasn't having the pain in my and discomfort in my cervical area and in my low back, the sacral area. So I wasn't needing to go to the chiropractor anymore. So I stopped going, and I thought it was quite amazing. I thought this little device is quite amazing.
So the cervical is your neck, right? So the listeners know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's my neck. Yes, it's my neck. And so I just stopped going to the chiropractor, and I thought this is great. And then all of a sudden, I started getting very, very dizzy. So dizzy I was walking around the house, holding onto the walls and the counters and the furniture.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yes, and so I went back to the car, and I thought it might, and my lymph nodes were swollen here, so I thought, well, it might be connected to the subluxations in the neck. Probably, I thought it was, and so I went back to the chiropractor, and sure enough, he said that I have so many subluxations in my neck. Again, he said, why didn't you come in sooner? I didn't tell him. Yeah, he said, why didn't you come in sooner? He said, haven't you been feeling pain and discomfort here? And I hadn't been. So I thought I don't know what any of this means, but it's really interesting that this QT device does such a good job with pain that you can even have major subluxations and not feel any pain.
That's a good benefit. But I go to the chiropractor every week, no matter what.
Oh, you do? Okay.
How often do you go?
How often do I go?
Uh-huh.
Is that what you said? Well, it would depend on, historically, it would depend on my discomfort.
Oh.
Usually every 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks if I'm not feeling much discomfort. It used to be connected to the discomfort.
Okay. Well, now you know.
Yes, now I know. Other than that, I've been struggling with my weight, and trying everything and not being able to lose the weight I've gained. And other than that, I think that's it. That's about it as far as my health conditions.
Okay. And then pretty soon we get the exciting opportunity to go into the QARC, and we get to take all this knowledge and wisdom that we've gathered through the decades and apply it to a healthy 30-year-old body. What excites you about that?
Oh, I don't know where to start. To have energy to do all, it's so, the thought to have the energy to do all of the things I've wanted to do my entire life and couldn't do. Like, I started playing tennis a little bit in my 20s and 30s. And if I played an hour of tennis, there was nothing, I could do nothing else throughout the day. I would just have to rest. So I didn't become very accomplished at that, but I think I could be. So I want to take up tennis again.
Have you tried pickleball?
And no, everybody's doing that. Have you tried it?
Yeah. Okay. So my husband and I went to go play tennis one day. We were on vacation and the tennis court was full, and the other tennis court had converted to 4 pickleball courts. So we just went to Big Five and picked up some rackets and went and played. And it's so much easier on your body. And it's actually more fun, I think, than
Oh,
tennis.
really? Well, maybe I'll try pickleball.
Yeah. Try that. Okay. Sorry to interrupt your flow.
That's okay. And I want to take up art. I'd like to take up painting. I think I really love it, especially I want to do watercolors. And I want to travel to some places I have traveled to, resting a lot, which is, I spent some time in Spain and the Caribbean and Africa. I loved Africa and I want to go back. South Africa, East Africa, West Africa. I actually traveled through Zimbabwe when it was Rhodesia, when it was called Rhodesia.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, it was fun. So I'd like to go back there and revisit the places I visited. And then I have all of these ideas for humanitarian projects. I really want to help the veterans. I know I've heard stories for years of veterans waiting years for financial help from the government to provide treatment for conditions that were in fact caused by the wars the government sent them into. And it's just unbelievable that when they come home, there are these organizations having to advertise on television for the citizens to send in donations when their tax money paid for the war in the first place. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I really want to do something for the veterans and provide homes for them and really the best medical care and the latest technology. You know, in Florida, there's a statistic I learned that in the state of Florida alone, each night in the state of Florida, 19,000 veterans are homeless.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh.
so shocking. So I'm going to do something about that. And, you know, President Trump had a great idea that I heard him mention a couple of months ago that in order to, instead of taking the time to build so many homes for them, they make these fantastic super duper tents now. And he said he has an idea of tent cities in the beginning where we could get them into homes so fast. I mean, really amazing tents, and it would be a very comfortable place to live.
That's cool.
So that problem could be addressed pretty much more quickly than many people realize.
You know what somebody gave me an idea of, Margaret, is that you buy like an old cruise ship that was retired, and then you can put them on a ship and provide all of the stuff that they would normally, like the cruise line would provide them. And they could, I mean, what a gift that would be.
Idea. Oh, I'm going to jot that down.
We're all in this together, my darling.
Oh, that would be so great. That's
Yeah.
a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And maybe that will give us other ideas of things that are out of the box, you know?
Yeah, I like that idea, because then they have a swimming pool and then they get like lifted up to luxury, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's a gift.
Absolutely.
They might not want to
Absolutely.
leave, but a
Well,
house, forget
we'll
that.
just build more cruise ships for them and they won't have to leave.
Yep, that's a great idea. Okay, go ahead, finish.
And I mentioned the veterans and the homeless. I mean, the other people who are homeless. I want to do the same for them. And the goal is to have not one more homeless person in this country. The goal is to have not one. This is
Right.
ridiculous. And there are things that I want to do for our elderly. I want to help reform the corrupt judicial system, because that's the root cause of so much that doesn't get taken care of, because there are so many lawyers and judges who don't want it taken care of.
Yeah, they're a bank.
Yeah, exactly. And I have some other ideas too that are percolating in the back of my mind, but those are my main ones at the moment.
Cool. So you have a heart for veterans. Have you ever looked into the Valor Project?
Yes, I have. I'm very interested in that.
Okay. Yeah, we've just put everything on hold until the software is done so we can make sure that the HHS works, you know, like without any issues. And then we'll pick that back up.
Yeah, Alex is involved in that, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, and he's how I found out about QHS. So.
Oh, I love Alex. We always trade videos back and forth. Like he'll send me something. You got to watch this and you got to watch that. He's my buddy.
What a great source. What a great resource. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, you sound like your hands are going to be full.
I think so. I hope so. All I
Yeah.
need is the energy.
Yeah. Well, that is coming, my darling, very, very soon. So I'm so excited to, you know, we get to go in just a few weeks, God willing.
Yeah, that's just great. A few weeks for you, more for me. A few weeks for you.
Us, we're supposed to go end of July, beginning of August.
Okay.
So July 31st, August 1st, something like that. I mean, as of now, that's what we were told on the call on Wednesday or Friday or something.
And so as of now, what month do you guess I'll be going?
What are you? What's your title or whatever it's called?
Moving VIP.
Oh, August, I would guess.
Good. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess August, so that'll be fabulous.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, after QArc, will you come back and do a part 2 with me?
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to say, I'll be looking forward to seeing you on the part 2. That'll be the fun one. That'll
Oh
be
yeah.
part 2.
I'm
Yeah.
absolutely looking forward to it. And then I can't wait to combine the videos so that we can flash back and forth,
Yes,
like
great
this.
idea.
It's going
Great
to be an
idea.
exciting time. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today, Margaret. You're such a beauty.
Thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing you on part 2.
Okay, sounds good. Have a beautiful day, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for making this QHS project fly. This valorous admin team, thank you. The Key community welcomes you. Thank you for making your home QHS healthy and happy. Thank you for helping us place QH centers all around the world. Together, hand in hand, we make miracles happen. QuantumHealingSystems.org. Thank you.